Hello, I'm Austin Futrell, and this is my property appraisal of the single-family residence located at 303 Turner Street, Beaufort, North Carolina. This property, as you can see here, is a white colonial-style home built in 1901 that sits right in the heart of Beaufort's downtown historic district. We at Futrell's Appraisals conducted a formal appraisal of this property, and this presentation is intended to summarize our appraisal report. We will look at the property itself, the market it's situated in, discuss the three appraisal methods used to value the property, and reconcile these values to determine a final appraisal value, then end with a discussion of the impacts of COVID-19 on the real estate market and the economy in general. Now, our subject property is a colonial-style single-family home that was built in 1901 and fully renovated in 1986. The property has 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and is 2,378 square feet in total. The home sits on 0.18 acres of land in Beaufort's downtown historic district, only a block away from the waterfront shops and restaurants that are along the channel. And the property was last sold in December of 2007 for $500,000, and it's currently listed on the market for an asking price of $550,000. Beaufort is a small town located along the coast of North Carolina that's steeped in rich history. Beaufort County has a population of just over 47,000 residents, the vast majority of whom are middle-aged and elderly, as it's a popular destination for retirees. Only 53.6% of residents are participating in the labor force, and the housing occupancy rate of 70.4% is roughly 7% below the national average. And the median home income of the median home value of $128,003 is incredibly low, roughly 40% below the national average. This shows that home values in the area are relatively low. Median household income of $43,688 is very low compared to the national average, and this corresponds with a very high poverty rate of 18.1% in the county. Now, the first method that we used in order to appraise the property was sales comparison method, where we used 6 comparable properties that were recently sold, selecting them based on the criteria listed here on the slide, and their sales prices were then used to estimate the market value of the subject property. Sales prices were adjusted in order to make the home values reflect the quality and quantity of the characteristics that are listed here in our sales comparison grid as compared to the subject property. These adjusted prices were then averaged together, giving us our appraisal value of $588,583. Next approach we used was the cost approach, which provides us with the estimated cost of constructing the home today. We used the cost estimator from costtobuild.net, which allowed us the most freedom to adjust various characteristics of the home in order to make it as similar to the subject property as we could. The value of the land was then gathered from county tax records. However, we believe that this tax value is likely an underestimate of the actual market value of the home, as it generally will garner more or a higher price on the market than it does in its tax value alone. By adding the land value to the estimated construction cost, we arrived at an appraised value of $412,052. Now, one of the primary concerns with this approach is that it fails to account for the historical value of the home, and we also believe it fails to really truly account for the demand to live in the area. It's one of the most high demand areas to live in all of Beaufort County. Then the final method that we used was the income approach. There were 2 different methods to the income approach that we used. First was direct capitalization method, which uses annual net operating income to estimate the value of the property. Now, because the property is downtown in a very desirable area of town and is above average in quality and maintains a high historic value, we believe that it will garner above average rent, leading us to expect annual rent revenue of $1,950. Maintenance costs were estimated at $3,200 based on 2 different methods, 1% of sales price method and the $1 per square foot method, combined with our estimations of the fact that we think it's going to have above average maintenance costs due to its age. This came us to the $3,200 value that we used. The multifamily residential cap rate for 2019 was 6.2%. A single family cap rate was not available for use, so we had to make do with the multifamily cap rate. And using this method provided us with an estimated value of $338,871. Now, the discounting cash flows method discounts expected cash flows over the expected holding period of the asset. Assuming an estimated holding period of 10 years, a selling price at the end of year 10 of $500,000, which was the last sales price in 2007, and discount rate of 0.62%, which is the current rate of, or the current yield on a 10-year U.S. Treasury, which is the current 10-year risk-free rate of return. This provides us with an estimated value of $670,144. Finally, we need to reconcile all of these values in order to determine our total appraisal value. We consider the sales comparison method to be the most reliable method of estimating the value of single-family homes. By using recent sales transactions of comparable properties in the area, we're able to get a pretty good idea of what market buyers and sellers price the value of properties at. And because of this, we weighted it at 70% overall. The cost approach is less reliable, but still useful. Some of the reasons for its lack of reliability are what we discussed earlier with the tax value of the land that we believe underestimates market value, and that we can't reproduce the historical value of home and the unique design of it. Finally, the income approach is the least reliable of all methods. The direct cap rate relies on the cap rate measure, or the direct cap method relies on cap rate measures that are based on multifamily residential properties. Single-family residential property cap rates are not available, so therefore we're having to make do with that, but it's not going to provide a very reliable estimate. We believe current U.S. Treasury yields are incredibly low due to federal funds rate cuts surrounding the COVID-19 crisis we're currently facing, so future cash flows are likely discounted at far too low of a rate, and the subject property is intended for residential use by customers. It's not intended as an investment to produce income for the owners. So we rate these values very low. The weighted average of all of these values came out to be our final appraisal value of $548,182. Now, COVID-19 pandemic is going to have drastic economic consequences both in the United States and worldwide. Decreased consumer spending leads many firms to lay off their workers, which further depresses consumer spending from those workers, leading you into a downhill spiral of poor economic performance. Goldman Sachs is currently predicting 2020 quarterly GDP growth of -6% in quarter one and -24% in quarter two. Even with the rebounds expected in quarters 3 and 4, we're expected to have -3.8% GDP growth overall for the year, which is going to be our first year of negative GDP growth in the U.S. since 2008. Strong government action has been taken to stimulate the economy at this time, as well as to stimulate growth once we have our return to normalcy. These include interest rate cuts and quantitative easing by the Federal Reserve, small business loans, and stimulus packages consisting of checks sent to the majority of American homes. And finally, real estate. The real estate industry is not immune to this crisis. Layoffs are likely to cause tenants to miss rent payments. Fewer homes are expected to be purchased and less homes are expected to be built as demand decreases from the lack of consumer spending. It's very likely that lack of income will lead many homeowners to default on their mortgages, and lower prices due to decreased demand are expected for real estate assets in the coming months, which likely will affect the property that we are valuing here. In conclusion, our property is highly unique due to its age and location. When you combine this with very few recent transactions to compare in the Beaufort area, it makes it very difficult to appraise the value of the property. Two things that we would really like to see in the future when doing more research are a better estimate of the land value of the property than tax value, which once again we believe to be an underestimate, and a cap rate for single-family residential properties to properly estimate potential income. We'd like to thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day.